Hi, this is Ms. Zaretis, and in this video, we are going to look at activity 1.4, Crush the Bug. So for this activity, we are actually going to look at a bunch of different files that have already been programmed for you and find bugs in them. Each one of these files have something wrong. Something is not working. They have a bug. And whenever you see a file that ends in .hex, that is the extension that is used for the microbit make code program. So whenever you see a file ending in .hex, you know that that's the files for the microbits. And speaking of bugs, that terminology actually goes back to 1947 when United States Navy Rear Admiral Grace Harper was working on a computer and she couldn't get it to work. And this is what she looks like. And they checked all the programming and the programming was right, but they just couldn't get it to work. And then finally, the reason why it wasn't working is because this little guy, which is a moth, was stuck inside the relay of the computer. So that's where the terminology bug comes from. Because that bug was there, the program wasn't working. So you are now going to have to find bugs in these programs. And the way that you do it is by completing what's called a code trace chart. So let's go to your Google Classroom. And when you go to Google Classroom, you are going to find a lot of files. So don't get overwhelmed. We're going to do these one at a time. So the first bug that they want you to look at is called Dragonfly. So I am actually going to show you how to complete the code trace chart using the example of dragonflies. And I decided to use this one because this one's a kind of a longer one. So I'm going to step you through it. And then afterwards, you'll be able to complete on your own fire ants, moths, termites, and yellow jackets. Hornets, manatees, and wasps I will reserve for later on because they are optional. They are slightly harder. So, but you are required to do fire ants all the way through yellow jackets. So let's work on dragonflies together. So this, I've already attached the code chart for you. So you will have the completed dragonfly in your Google Classroom so you can see what a finished file looks like. And so here is the code trace charts, and here are the actual hex files. Remember, when I say hex, I'm referring to this extension. So there are two ways that you can actually look at the file. So one way is simply go to your Google Classroom and click on the link, and that'll work. But I want to show you another way using your book. So to get the file, you click on it. When you click on it, notice it appears on the bottom left. But if you click on it from here, nothing will happen. Some of you will get these, like a box will pop up, or maybe you'll have a page that might pop up that has a bunch of numbers on it. So I know that the tendency is to click on the file, but that won't work. So what I need to do instead is I need to go to my Make Code website. And it doesn't matter where you are. All you have to do is take that file and just drag it. And as soon as you drag it, it'll overwrite wherever you are. And there it is. It says dragonflies, and this is the file. Okay, so I need to complete a code trace chart, which I have open. So it's right here. So this is a code trace chart. So first thing I need to do is I need to figure out what is this program doing. So I can go ahead and play it, and I see 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I don't know. Is that what it's supposed to do? Well, the cool thing is I'm just going to move this a little bit over. There are these comment boxes, and the comment boxes tell you what it's supposed to do. So if I click on this first comment box, I need to expand it to see what it says. And it says, when the program starts, the LED grid will count down from 5 to 1 and show Happy New Year across the screen at the end. Oh, is that what it's supposed to do? Let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So there's the bug. As we can see, it's not quite working. But in order to properly complete a code trace chart, you have to follow multiple steps. So we know that there's a problem with the code. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take a copy of this code. So the way that you do that, I'm just going to go ahead and don't hit the delete like I almost did, because if you do that, the comment is gone. So I'm just going to close it. And it's okay. If you accidentally delete it, you can always go back to the book and download again. So to take a copy of this code, the quick way to do it is right-click and hit snapshot. Now I'm going to go to my document, and notice that it popped up on the bottom. I'm going to go to my document. I'm going to go to the second page, and it's got this bigger box, and it says the problem. So I take it and I drag it in. And it's kind of big, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it a little smaller just to fit in the box. So this is the original code. When you are finished fixing the code, the fixed code will then go over here. So a couple things I need to fill out that I can fill out already. What is the objective of this code? Well, that's usually listed in the first box. I'm literally just going to copy and paste. And Control C and Control V. This is the objective. When the program starts, the LED grid will count down from 5 to 1 and show Happy New Year across the screen at the end. Okay, now to dissect this code, we need to break it up into every single little piece. So I'm going to use my snipping tool. So if you are on the computer, you can use the snipping tool if you're on the desktop. If you don't have the snipping tool there, go here to the magnifying glass. Computer's a little slow. Go to this magnifying glass, type snip, and then when you see snipping tool pop up, you want to do a right click. Make sure you do a right click. Still waiting for it to catch up. Do a right click. And you want to do pin to taskbar. Mine says unpin because it's already there. So you want to find the one that says pin to taskbar. And what that does is it'll keep it right here on the bottom for you all the time so you can easily access it. Now, if you're doing this on a Chromebook, I have attached a link to your Google Classroom that shows you how to do snipping on your Chromebook. It's a little bit more challenging if you're just using the touchpad of the Chromebook. It probably works best if you have an exterior mouse. But like I said, the desktop just uses your snipping tool. So I'm going to snip. I'm going to come here to new, and I'm just going to take the first block. So the whole point of the code trace chart is to dissect the code block by block. So here's the first block. I'm just going to paste it right in, Control V, on start. What does that do? It starts the program. So did the program run? It did. So that tells me that the onStart was fine. Next. So here's my next box, and I'm going to go here, new, and I'm going to show, so it shows show number, and, oops, there we go, paste. And what does that do? Well, I can look. It says it's supposed to show number 5. So right here, show number 5. Do you remember? Did it actually show number 5? Look, it's popping up. So yes, that part of the code did work. Next, my next code, let's move you out of the way, is the pause. So I'm going to snip that. This is my, hold on. There we go. I just wanted to click on it because it would make it yellow. Does it matter? No, but it's okay. So I'm getting the pause one. This is my next block that I'm looking at. You don't need to have the yellow. You could just like unselect it. So what is this supposed to do? Well, it tells me right here. It's supposed to pause for 1,000 seconds. So I'm just going to copy it over. So it says it's supposed to pause for 1,000 milliseconds, which is equivalent to 1 second. But wait a minute. This is only showing 100, not 1,000. So that's wrong. So is it working correctly? No, it's not. I know I have a bug there. So I'm going to continue going down this form. So I'm going to come back after I fill them all out. And so stay tuned. So I'm back. So the reason why I decided to go on ahead is because all of these just basically says show number 4 and pause is supposed to be 1,000. So we know that's a mistake. Show number 3, pause should be 1,000, not 100. Show number 2, pause is the next one. So I just went ahead and filled out the code trace chart for all of them, and this is what it looks like. Show number 5. So these are the ones that I filled out because it was a repeating pattern. So we know that all of the pauses need to be fixed. They were all wrong. And so now I am up to show number 0, and over here, when I look at the box, it says it's supposed to say Happy New Year. So does it say Happy New Year when you do your emulator? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it says 0 instead. So it is not doing what it's supposed to do. So as you look through, you will see that this program actually has 2 bugs. Bug number 1, pause should be 1,000 millisecond or 1 second, whatever you want to use, they're both the same. And bug number 2 is should display or say Happy New Year at the end. So those were the 2 bugs. You guys see that? Because as I go through, and the way I found out was literally just by looking at these comments. And again, if you accidentally delete the comments, you just have to download the program again and the comments will be there. So how do we fix it? We know what the bugs are. How do we fix it? Well, to make it pause longer, you're just going to change it to 1,000 instead of 100. So I am just going to copy and paste that in. Just Control C. Whoop, I overcopied. Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. So that'll help with the pauses. Now, I know I don't want it to say show number. I need it to say Happy New Year. So to do that, you're going to use the show string. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to change it to Happy New Year. Now, if I look at my emulator, I'm drying here. Go back to my thing. When the program starts, the LED will count down from 5 to 1, and it'll say Happy New Year, 2, 1, and it goes Happy New Year. And this is the correct coding. So now I need to take a picture of it. So again, I just did a right click. You can do a screenshot if you want, but I'm just going to do a snapshot with this, go to my code trace chart, and I'm going to go here to where it shows the solution. Seems like it's going on to a second page. Take it and drag it over. And again, let me try to fix this so it fits all on. It's going to end up being on 2 pages. So let me just try to fix it. So the code part of it was kind of long. So your coding, I don't think any of your coding is going to be that long. Maybe the yellow jacket. There we go. Trying to get it all on 1 page. So this just needs to be made a little smaller to fit in there. So this is how you fill in a code trace chart. So you start with looking at the code, read the comments, and the comments are going to tell you what the objectives are. So the comments are very important. Then so you look at it quickly, look at the code and see if it does what it's supposed to do. I will tell you right now, I guarantee you, all of them have something wrong. So they all need to be dissected. And then you literally dissect them block by block. So I always have kids, do I have to screenshot this block? Yes, because you need to say what each block does in the order that you see it. So that's what I did. Literally screenshot every single block one by one. And then you look at that one block and you say, what does that block do? And for the most part, there'll be comments here to tell you what it's supposed to do. So you could just copy and paste the comment. And then you answer the question, did it do what it was supposed to do? Yes, great. Then that block is fine. No, then you know you need to go back and figure it out. Regarding the objective, this is easy. It's usually the first one. So let me close that. It's usually the first comment box. That tells you what this is supposed to do. So I just copied and pasted in. And then for the bug, you need to figure it out. Once you've done this part, you need to figure out what the bug is and you put it there. Make sure you take a screenshot of your coding before you make any changes and after you make the changes. So we can see that the pauses were changed to 1,000, the show number 0 was eliminated, and the Happy New Year was put in. So now what you need to do, so the dragonfly is done for you. So now what you need to do is complete code trace charts for fire ants, moths, termites, and yellow jackets. So here are your files to complete. The dragonfly will be there as an example of what a completed file looks like. And here are the codes that you can use, or you can download them from your textbook. If you're doing this on a Chromebook, I will add a video that'll show you how you can screenshot with your video. When all 4 files are complete, then just mark as done. All right, have fun.